Hello, guys, and welcome back to my second episode of Jacob's Finances. Last time we talked about my salary, breakdown of what I spend, so how much I have after my salary, breakdown of what I spend, did some wealth tracking. As you can see here, new month, new amount. Debt hasn't seemed to change. I don't know if they update the UK Gov, don't update it daily. Pensions increased by about 500 quid. Suspected, and license increased by about 500. Current account has increased by about 1,000, but that doesn't really count because I did it at the beginning of the month, where this was done at the end of the month when I started. So this, by the end of the month, will probably drop down quite a bit. As you can see here, there's very tidgy lines. Huzzah! So I also looked at, just thought I'd put out my times, so sleep 8 hours, work 8 hours, spend an hour getting ready, hour commute to co-meeting, gym. Just didn't give me much free time. And I was thinking, should I be getting a second job, trying to improve my earnings, or I think honestly, just should spend this time in doing what I enjoy, enjoy learning, improving. I also spend a lot of this time applying for PhDs, which is going to get me to the interesting part of today. So as you can see here, I did some extrapolation. So I just took my current job, put real returns 7%, I think I showed this last episode, pension, LISA, which is basically just investment, real return 7%, so that's without inflation, and I just kept it as if I got this job that I'm working today, nothing changed for the next 65 years, I will have £2.8 million, which is obviously very good. Obviously I can't be staying where I live because my rent's £490 a month. Like, I obviously would like a house, a wife and kids, so something's going to change, but I'm just doing this for simple. And then I decided to look how different it'll be if I get a PhD. So, as you can see here, most PhDs start in September, so I thought I'd just start it. So I work my current job till next year, September, and then as you can see here, normally they're adding the loan repayments when I become a student. I totally took that off. I also take off how much I'm making. And then why did I do that? I did that because obviously you don't make as much money as a PhD student. I wonder if I drew it anyway. I did, yeah. Yeah, so basically I removed that because I'd be losing I lose my loan repayments and my stock, so that's about, it's technically about 500 quid a month. So do that for 4 years, and then afterwards I'd get a postdoc job, which would, let's just say the place I'm working at now, the average postdoc salary is 42,000, which means I'd be paying the pension of this and my contribution. So I thought I'd keep my LISA payment the same in my new job, and I'd change my pension payment to go up and my loan repayments to go up. And as you can see, I would break even 2 years. I'd delay breaking even by 2 years, which is not too bad. I was shocked by that. If we continue, I also changed, so I'm adding more money here. I'm adding the how much I would be doing on the loan payments on the year that they finally disappear. As you can see, I'd be making 2.622, which obviously compared to this one is about 200k difference. I've got it here, 187k difference. So that would be the difference of doing a PhD. Now you're thinking, damn, why would you ever want to do a PhD? Good point. I've also done the third one, but I've not completely finished this one. I was looking at, let's say I stay at my job to the time I would get a PhD next year, and then I'd get a new job, and hopefully that job would be around 42k, because let's say I'm on 36 now. Normally get a new job, jump 5k up if you move sideways, hopefully. I was thinking like this, and then I was just wondering how far can I get. So I did the same, and this is going to be 3 million, which would be very nice. I'm going to keep on working on this one. I just googled PhD versus masters for lifetime earning potential. Apparently, according to whatever Google's AI is, there's a big difference here. But I think this is looking at, you have a bachelor's and then you decide to do a master's or a PhD. Now, obviously, a PhD is a lot longer in America, 5 to 7 years. PhD here is about 4 years, and the master's here is 1 year, but you normally need to do a master's to get a PhD, so this doesn't really work as very well. But I think a lot of the other stuff is quite interesting. So I do agree that if you don't get a PhD, you can get more money as a master's, but you do hit a glass ceiling, which we're talking about here. I think you'll end up in like middle management, whereas if you get a PhD, you'll be able to go a lot further up and get into a lot better jobs. Another one here to think about is not getting too specific. So I'm doing biomedical. I'd like to get a PhD in immunology, cancer, and have a bit of bioinformatics. Now, from what I think, bioinformatics is going to explode. It's already exploding, so that'd be a really good skill to have. Immunology is exploding. I think top 5 of the 10 most made money drugs that sold are antibodies, which is a big immunological component. And as people get older, we deal with more inflammaging and cancer, autoimmune diseases, allergies, transplant rejections, all this stuff, which is immunology. So I think that's a really big field. And I also think cancer research, obviously aging population, cancer increases, and there's a lot of cancer funding money. So that is the plan basically. Thanks for watching the video. Bye.